Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
So I'm sure a lot of you have already seen the interview already with Tyson Fury on IFL TV. If you haven't, it'll be in the description box as always for my source. Now, I've already seen the reactions to how people are reacting to some of the things that Tyson Fury says, most notably about the fight with Anthony Joshua. And this is what Tyson Fury had to say. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that could scupper a fight. Nothing's actually on until you're in the ring. We're nowhere near that at the moment. Do I think the fight will happen eventually? Yes. Do I think the fight is imminent? No. So Tyson Fury's statement. Now, there's a few ways of looking at this one. Could be that he's playing us. Because what do? There's a lot of people who say, well, the fight's on, isn't it? Expect an announcement any day now. And then you go, well, the fight's not on, and then you're going to be deflated. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, the fight will be announced. It happens time and time again. It's a excellent way of marketing whatever it is that you're doing, in this case, this particular fight. So Tyson Fury knows that, okay? He's a master salesman, and he's the hype machine, okay? He really, really is, and he will sell this fight to the rafters. You know that he will once it becomes official. But for now, he's going to deflate you a little bit. So when it is announced, you're going to be then going, hang on, it is on. And you're going to be boosted higher than what you were before. It's a very, very clever tactic. Fury's a very smart man. So that's one reason why he could have said this. Could be the reason, okay? Now, I believe that's probably the reason, to be fair. And the reason I say that is because when we look at both sets of the teams, we see Eddie Hearn doing various interviews. Frank Warren does the odd one or two here and there. Bob Arum, of course, he does a few. In fact, I interviewed Bob Arum a little while ago on this particular subject. And they all, both sides, collectively are saying this fight's done. There's nothing else to do. All terms are agreed. They know everything that's going on. All that requires now is Anthony Joshua to sign and Tyson Fury to sign. Send it through the legal channels and then it becomes a legally binding contract. We're done. Okay? That's all that has to happen. Okay? Now, when Tyson Fury says that there are things going on behind the scenes and things can scupper a fight, yeah, of course. And we see it time and time again. It could be one of these fighters could get injured. It happens. We've seen with Tyson Fury when he's supposed to rematch Vladimir Klitschko. That fight was on and off and on and off. Eventually it was off because of Tyson Fury's mental well-being, of course. But a lot of you will remember that he actually injured himself as well during camp. A lot of you will remember his black and blue ankle, things like that. So injuries do happen. Tyson Fury has been a victim of that himself. Anthony Joshua was supposed to take on Kubrat Pulev a couple of years ago. Pulev got injured, was replaced by Carlos Takam for the IBF mandatory position. So fights, things like that do break down. So what he's saying there is the fight isn't never actually on until you step foot in that ring. Then it's officially on, isn't it? There's no getting out of it now. Well, unless, of course, one of the fighters looks across the ring and says, you know what, stuff that, turns around and hightails out of there. Again, that has happened. But for me, I think that's why Tyson Fury is saying, okay, he's just deflating us in order to blow us back up again. That's why I think he's saying it. Is it possible that this whole thing has just been a ruse because Fury and Wilder Part 3 people don't want to see it and therefore it was never going to do that well at the box office and whatever? So therefore, how do you sell that fight? Well, you bring in the name of Anthony Joshua. You act like the fight with Anthony Joshua is going to happen. Hang on a minute, the fight's not happening? Well, I hope Tyson Fury wins this Wilder fight because I really want to see that Joshua fight. Now Joshua, he's going to have to go fight Alexander Usyk. I really hope Joshua wins because we want to see Fury Joshua together for undisputed. There's lots of different ways of looking at it. I think it's unlikely, to be honest with you. I know some people have predicted that way back in the beginning when the whole accusations from Deontay Wilder about Tyson Fury happened and Tyson Fury said he's never going to fight him again no matter what. This is all just a ruse to kind of hype their fight in some ways. I don't think so. I certainly hope not, because if I find out that does happen, I ain't going to be happy. Sorry, Fury fans, I ain't going to be happy if it turns out that Fury and Wilder are going to end up fighting each other. And this whole thing has just been a huge publicity stunt. But I don't believe that. I don't think Tyson Fury is that kind of character. I really don't. So for me, I do feel, honestly, I do believe that he's just saying this just to deflate everyone, only to boost them. I mean, it could be because he hasn't had official confirmation himself. Maybe he's already signed. Maybe Josh already signed. He's now going through the legal channels because he hasn't heard anything back, because we all know that lawyers, solicitors, etc., they do like to string things out. They like to try and make it look like that's why we're demanding the big kind of money, because they string it out. That's a good way of doing it. Oh, it's so complicated. Even though for most people, you can read that within 5 minutes, go, okay, cool, it's done. Very simple thing, isn't it? But it could just be that he hasn't heard anything back yet. So he's saying, well, I don't know. Because Tyson Fury, at times, he can be quite a negative person. I know usually he's a very positive person, but he can be a very, very negative person. And this could be one of those days where he's negative on anything. So he could be looking at it going, no, I don't think the fight's going to happen. And he probably truly believes that. Maybe in this moment in time, tomorrow, he'll say something different. Maybe yesterday, if he'd have done the interview yesterday, he may have said something different. But Fury's been that kind of way, and that's what he does. And if this fight does fall apart, you know fine well Fury's going to blame AJ. You know fine well AJ's going to blame Fury. They're not going to blame each other. Or, sorry, they will blame each other. Neither one are going to take the full responsibility. You're not going to see Eddie Hearn saying, yeah, the fight didn't happen because, you know what, I messed up. Bob Arum ain't going to say, yeah, the fight didn't happen because, you know what, I don't really want it. I don't really fancy that fight for Tyson right now. They ain't going to do that. Okay, they're just going to blame each other. And, of course, that's just going to create more and more anger towards the fans, because neither one of the Joshua fans or the Fury fans are going to look bad like their guy is the one who pulled out the fight. Because right now, there's a clear road. The WBA have cleared the road. The IBF have cleared the road. WBC have cleared the road. Even the WBO have cleared the road for Alexander Usyk to go fight Joe Joyce. So this fight can be done for undisputed. There's no reason in the world why it can't be done. I know where the fight's going to happen. Country. I don't know city and town. And I don't know the exact date. I just know a time frame of when it's going to be. Okay. But either way, I think Tyson Fury is just playing with us. Honestly, I do. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up. Subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.